What up? What up? Look at that calculator. 7.08333333. What a number. Let's get to work. All right. The tea is ready. Mr. Goop spoilers. Okay. What up, Goob? I made a lot of progress earlier today. Let me check my mic volume, see if it did that bull crap again. Seems good. What is this? Oh no. Output. Why would that be? Switch. Just a second, make sure all my sound settings are right. How does it sound when I'm talking over this volume? Hello, hello. Boost my voice a little bit. There's like 4 different settings that are controlling this mic volume. There's a knob on the mic. There's this in Windows. And then there's a thing in OBS also. So it's sometimes it's blowing my ears out. Other times it's quiet. This is fine. All right. Yeah, I had the edit muted for a second. Sorry. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Check 1, 2 on the mic. It's probably pretty quiet. It's fine. Okay. Let's get to work. Why? My chat window is malfunctioning. How is that malfunctioning? That's odd. It's populating with an error there. Oh, this is why. Here we go. Is that gonna do it? I just want you to kiss your chest. Yeah. What the heck? Why won't it do it? Everything looks like it's working on YouTube's end, and then OBS is just pulling in an error. Delete the browser source. Throw a new one in. There we go. Huh. There's the old delete it and remake it. Okay. All right. To work we go. Where do I want to start? I did a lot of things since the last stream. Made it pretty far, as you can... I haven't yet gone through... I haven't reviewed from here, is where I need to start. But as we can see... I was able to go back and I'll highlight some of those changes I did later, like I got the camera shaking and stuff. Throw them off, that kind of thing. So I went back to that. I rebuilt the sound on this area. See, I made the TIE fighter shoot twice, like it does here. 2. Synced up a lot of stuff. So the big things I need to accomplish now. Yeah, and I did this big edit too. Yeah, the camera shakes really worked out. It was a great idea. Let me just go through everything I did in detail. I don't think I didn't do anything before, just some sound work beforehand. So we did the 2 camera shakes. Yeah, lots of new sound effects. Like the TIE fighters made no sound when they were coming in. And now since we don't have this instance happening as like a out of nowhere surprise, like the explosions just around Din first, we see the TIEs first. I thought they needed some sound effects, so I just brought some TIE fighter flyby in. Their firing noises didn't match up with what happens there, so I meant to move that to that frame. Brought some new TIE fighter firing sound effects in. And then I fixed the 2, so I added another one. Since there are 2 pairs on that right ship, 2 pairs on the right ship before. All the sound effects are nice. And then I put more of a TIE fighter flying over here because I want to find... I'm not as happy with that one. It works for this because they're like far away. But this should be like a really loud flyby. I like it a lot in how they did the TIE fighters in Andor. I might see if I can find that TIE fighter clip, because those things sounded menacing when they flew by on like the heist world in those first couple episodes. This one's a little soft, so let me make a marker here. I'm going to delete my previous markers that I already did. That one was made by accident. Oh, come on. Just do it up there. Okay. Yeah, everything's good from there on. What? I didn't put the one... I thought I just put one here. Oh, I put it on the wrong level. Okay. One there. Everything else was good here. Yeah, they sounded great. In Season 2 finale, when Luke showed up, how did Cara Dune not know who he was? I know. Why didn't Luke ask questions? Why didn't she ask the questions or what's going on? Oh, why didn't Luke ask questions about it all? I'm not as... Yeah, that's a good question too. When I was rewatching this, I was also like, man, I'm gonna have to fix her reactions because 1,000,000% she has to know who Luke is. Like, even not considering the EU, if you're only going by the movies and Disney's own things, still 100% she has to know who Luke is. And especially in my series where I have the Mandalorian set on different years because Disney's timeline is impossible for how they placed these shows. So many contradictions and impossibility of the short time frame they shoved everything into. So I have mine like set 4 or 5 years later than Disney in terms of ABY. So I say that to say that, yeah, Luke should have a lot more credibility and be known. Like, maybe you can say it's plausible that Din doesn't know. Yeah, this is part of the deepfake I'm trying to get mapped on there. So I need to, like, play with all of Cara Dune's facial expressions if she has any. She really, I mean, they just, like, ignore her almost entirely. I mean, they don't even put her on camera. Which, in a way, is fine, because we're putting all the focus on Din and Grogu for cinematic purposes. Luke's here on a very clear mission. But I have to get rid of the unfamiliar. I think it's when the X-Wing is coming in. Once Cara sees the lightsaber, you're like, okay, that's Luke. You should know. So, yeah, good point. I will definitely fix that. Okay, TIE Fighter sound effect. And then this one is going to be a little bit... Oh, here's the other thing I worked on. Look how stupid this is. In the original show, Mayfeld shoots right here. First of all, that's the wrong sound effect. That's not the sound a Tusken Cycler makes. Second of all, Rick Fumiyama strikes again. Please tell me where the blaster bolt... Watch, for reference, he's up in the Slave One. He's aiming at the Rhydonium on the left tank. Okay, he shoots. There's like no muzzle flash or anything. And then, watch, frame by frame. Boom. It just explodes. It's like you fired an invisible laser. Edit too quiet? Okay, I'll throw the volume up on that. I have to keep it somewhat quiet because YouTube gets really bitchy if they hear the noises. They copyright a lot easier on noises than the visuals since it's so small. So I do have to keep it kind of quiet. By like not at all, do you mean actually not at all or just like super quiet? Here comes some echo because I'm going to listen to it back. You're going to get some feedback, sorry. I'm double checking on my stream, just a few seconds behind me. Really? Yeah, it's still not doing it. What the heck? Right you are, matey. Let's try this. Dude, my computer... The sound... Here's... I'm going to watch this infinite looping OBS, but... I've got it now. That's my monitor that it should be playing from. For some reason, my computer always wants to default to having my mic be the output source too. That's my mic. There's my mic. It's not, I mean, this is default, but every time it does it on Discord almost every time I open it. Thank you for letting me know you couldn't hear, because every time I restart this computer, just like resets all of my sound settings. Let me check one more time. Make sure we can hear it on stream. And then apologies for the feedback as every time I restart this computer. Then we'll get back to work. Resets technical bugs. Let me check one more time. Make sure we can hear it on stream. Yes. All right. We good. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I was. Okay. Now hear the sound. It's like, That's not what a cycler sounds like. This is what a cycler sounds like. Yeah. You hear the difference? Rick Fumiyama. Check your blaster designs. So, much better sound effect for his blast. I threw a little bit of a muzzle glow right there. And then I... Whoa. Sorry, something... Why does it look like that all of a sudden? I was working on a different computer this morning, and it was... The heck? That's odd. It brought the wrong frames over. So that's sand. That should be a bright orange blaster bolt. Why did it do that? How did it do that? It's the same source file. Dang, I'm confused about that. How's that possible? It's just like a little later than... My masks are still right. I mean, yeah, you can see the shape of the blaster I drew out. That's so weird. I'm gonna have to fix that. And I don't want to. I'm really confused how that's even possible. I didn't even relink this or anything. It just went into the future. I mean, that's where it should be. That's the frame I was working on. And there, that's what I want. Because I had that. Throw my mask back on. Okay, there it is. That's so weird. Don't all rifles shoot sand? Yeah, that's the secret weapon. Sand blows up the Rhydonium. Hey, sand would be better than nothing that Disney put in there. What's better? He shoots a stream of sand and it blows it up, or he shoots nothing and it blows it up? How does this happen? I mean, it's like they actually brought the wrong file into their final cut. Boy. Okay, now I gotta find this one. This is such a dumb glitch. There's my frame. And the last one. Excuse me? Mask off. Okay. It's my frame. Welcome back, frames. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's how this is how it should play out. Yeah. Just like that. Okay, so now we have, and then I threw some sparks in there too for the last one. Just mapped out some little sparky effects. So this is funny. I took this from the Book of Boba Fett. This is part of the project I did with Movies Remastered, where I have all these Tusken Cycler effects already, which is awesome because I've used it now in 2 scenes for The Way of Mandalore Book 2 when Boba shoots, and now here. Yeah, sand would work on Vader, secret weapon. So this is like a blaster bolt hitting a Tusken Raider in a gut, and I just like masked out the impact location and some of the sparks that went flying off of him. And I just like rotated it around and placed it there. So it works really well for the impact. So yep, went through all that today. I mean, look at how much more impactful this all of that compared to Disney. Come on. Why must I do this? What if I want to be doing something else with my life other than fixing their crap? I don't. This is my dream. This conversation was wigging me out. If you guys have ideas here, I was really racking my brain about it. Let's take a listen.
Mandalorians, nothing, but through anything. I will kill them off and retake what it.
So there's 2 things. I hate that line. First of all, it can cut through anything. That sounds very childish. I have cut the worst of the worst after.
Almost anything.
Hate that.
Almost anything.
Almost anything. And then Boba looks at her like, huh? What do you mean?
It cannot cut through pure Beskar.
Okay, you think these guys don't know this? It's like a room full of Mandalorians, and they're like talking about the most basic properties of Beskar. So I thought that whole conversation is just very childish. Actually, I want to. I don't like this. It can cut through anything line.
It is an ancient weapon. I will kill them.
But I have to cut to something else. Is the problem. I was having trouble getting her body movements to work right. Because she's saying a whole sentence here. I'm fine with it. I like the ancient weapon if I could keep that, but I think it's too abrupt.
It belong to me. It is an ancient weapon.
Yeah, I mean it. You can hear how abrupt it is. It's an ancient cut to group shot lightsaber. Cut it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, so she says it is an ancient weapon.
Ancient weapon.
It's so abrupt when she just says that.
Ancient weapon. It is an ancient weapon.
The sound of this soundtrack I'd have to gut and redo.
Weapon. Ancient weapon.
That.
Gideon has a weapon that once belonged to me.
I'm almost fine with just cutting it here so we leave it a little mysterious. Because Din, I want Din to be like really shocked when he sees the Darksaber. He would know about it too already. So I don't, half of me doesn't even want her to give it away here. Mando, Season 3, Thrawn's Return. Thrawn's Return. Ahsoka Show. Thrawn is an idiot. Casual viewer. Mando 3, who's Thrawn. Ahsoka Show. Yeah, why should I? Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right on Star Wars Authority. They butchered Thrawn pretty badly. If you watch Rebels, you get a little more. I don't know how anyone could watch Ahsoka without Rebels and not be confused. I have some friends who said they tried to watch it with their parents, and their parents had never seen Rebels, and they were just like, "What the hell is happening? What is this show?" And they hated it. Ahsoka, I'm talking about. What, Goob? I need to do a rewatch of Rebels with all your films. The last time I watched your edits was probably it was probably like summer 2022. I think late summer 2022. Whenever you had like the first round of all of them done, and I haven't watched Rebels since then, and especially now that I'm dealing with the storylines more, I definitely want to do it. But now, I can't watch now until you finish your Mandalorian Wars segment. Pull up your series. Yeah, I guess I'd wait. Is that? I don't know. I don't update my front pages as much as I should, so I don't know how up to date this is. But yeah, I gotta rewatch. What was your philosophy on trying to fix Thrawn in this show so he's not as much of a dunce cap? Yeah, yeah, definitely cuts. That's when I had no idea what I was doing. So much better now. Yeah, okay. My cousin had never seen Rebels before, and I gave him those. Yeah. He enjoyed it more than him trying to sit through all the Disney Plus versions. But I love all the stuff you did with Castle and all. You've seen Rebels. Thrawn's just like, let them go. I found your base. Gets defeated by Space Whale. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was compared to EU. I mean, it's a different Thrawn, sadly. Very sad. And now now I know they want to use him again in probably the next 2 movies. They're gonna hint at him in the Mandalorian Grogu movie, and then he's gonna be the main baddie of Dave Filoni's movie. But you haven't built him up. The Disney canon Thrawn books are pretty good, and they actually fit in quite well with everything Zahn wrote for the EU. I don't think he meant to contradict himself. The main differences are some of the ranks Thrawn has throughout the story don't exactly line up anymore. But Thrawn was getting promoted and demoted all the time throughout his whole career. Just because he pissed people off by being too good and a little cheeky with them. But anyways, back to work. I've let you distract me. How dare I? I'm getting behind on chats already. Yeah, Thrawn has to not fail. So many one-off episodes where he just sucked. Yep. Definitely right. I'm excited to watch. I'll wait for your V4s probably, and then I think you have some of your V4 versions out, so I'll start watching through the ones you have released. Making a Rebels Mandalorian movie was one of my first edits and consequently one of my worst. Well, at least you're honest about it. I mean, my first edits were not good either. Whose were? That's all right, man. Fail, and it's always good to fail upward. And I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a fail, but you still probably improved on some of the original stuff, even on a first attempt. The whole unknown region Civil War thing could have been, yeah, for sure. For sure. We started on Sabine's brother and mother surviving after they were teased to die, then proceeded to do nothing of note in canon and die off screen in Ahsoka. Wow. Whoa. I'm slamming my keyboard in frustration, I guess. Alright, anyways. this scene looks much better now that I've touched it up. Thank you for sending the link, Mr. Goop. Okay, I was going to cut. It is an ancient weapon. Yeah, it just needs to cut like right here. Because Bo-Katan should know that Din knows what the Darksaber is. Boba Fett should even at least know of its existence. Maybe you could say he's not even that... He would have at least heard a story as a child, no doubt. Maybe you could say he believes it's a myth or something. A Mandalorian would have told... I mean, Jango would have told him about the ancient Mandalore for sure.
Gideon has a weapon that once belonged to me. I will kill them off and retake.
That's what here's the other thing that I'm... It's like Din's head movement. And Bo is moving backwards and then she's moving forwards. Okay. I mean, Din's head works because he enters and he's still like glancing that way.
I will kill him off and retake what is rightfully mine. I will
but it's like, why did he look over there?
kill them off and retake what
It's because he was looking at her who just said something. I don't think... It's not too bad because we could just say he's... After Bo makes the statement, he's looking at Boba to... Like, what do you think, bro? Not as upset about that as her head movement is just odd going out of the scene, then into the scene. So what I am going to do, actually, now that I think about it, is I am going to crop one half of the scene. So I already had a reverse on this because I needed it for Din's head movement because he had to look. He was starting like this and then looking at Bo, but then in this scene he's looking to the side and then looks at Bo again. So that didn't work, so I reversed it just so his head movement would be correct. And then in doing so, that makes Bo-Katan wrong. So if I just go in here, I unreverse this one. I crop. This is kind of going to be hard to tell. Just throw this on just so I can see what I'm about to crop. Crop this over. Whoa, oh, it's so laggy. That should do it. Kill that.
I will kill them all.
Heck yeah! Look at that. Magic. Very, very simple. I love how most of the things you can do are just so simple like that. A simple crop and reverse. And now I've got both characters having their body movements correct to make this cut. Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian should be like late 40s. How old is Katie Sackhoff? She's 44 now, so when she filmed this, they recorded season 2 in 2018, so she was late 30s playing a late 40s character. Yeah, they could have aged her up a little bit, for sure. Especially like a war-torn type of... She's lived a hard life. She looks late 30s here, which is what she is in real life. They didn't try to age her up to where she should have been. I think right now, how Katie Sackhoff looks now would work a lot better, I think. But, you know, that this is 7-8 years later. I'm trying to find a picture of how she looks now. She's pretty cool. If you listen to her interviews, she's actually really funny. Yeah, like this is... That's a little bit more how she looks now. So like the wrinkle prominence you can see on the forehead, which... That's how she should have looked in The Mandalorian. She looks a little young still. You know, maybe Mandalorians have good skin cream. Okay. This is fixed. Oh, whoa. Oh, I hate that in the playback. It's not there in real life. You get these random lines in playback sometimes. That's not there in real life. It's just, for some reason, the crop line... I think if I... Let me render this just to make sure. Yeah. Okay,
I will kill them off.
Perfect. Okay.
My only priority. He is my only priority.
Okay, here is my next challenge. Just so you can remember the original story. It goes right from there. Then it goes into the Moff Gideon call. I guess I already have that lined up. I didn't need to do that. But then the very beginning of the next episode. So this is the final scene of chapter 15. So they cut right from here to Din makes this threat against Moff Gideon. And I just hate it. I hate this scene so much. Because I think it's pointless for Din to make this call and tip Gideon off. And then he repeats Gideon's speech from season 1. I mean, I guess the director, Fumiyama, here was probably thinking, you know, that would be kind of badass for him to repeat everything Gideon said to him at the end of last season. Now he's saying it back to him at the end of this season. But you're not thinking realistically. You are telling me in that moment when they're setting up an E-Web, they just got blasted to oblivion, like that building's falling apart, they're under threat, they're wondering if they're gonna die, and then Gideon gives this speech. You're telling me Din sat there and he memorized the speech word for word in the moment and then repeats it exactly right months later? And in my series, this is even, you know, a year later. There's just no way he remembers this thing word for word. And I think it's out of character for Din to go in here and... Yeah, Star Wars Authority. You're definitely right. He needs to say something else. I would like to just not make the call, but there's nothing else to pace this out, because if we don't make the call, it goes right from this straight. This is the first frame of the next episode. It's just poof. It's an Imperial shuttle, and it's getting chased by a Slave One. And you just lose a lot. It feels so instantaneous to do that. And there's nothing else I can put here. I have looked for everything. Unfortunately, in this episode, there was a deleted scene. You can see it in the behind-the-scenes footage where Din and Boba and Bo-Katan go and meet Greef on Navarro. They've never said anything about what they talk about here or anything. Obviously, that whole plot line got cut, so they just didn't develop it. But, there was something else that was supposed to go here, and it got cut for whatever reason. So now this is all I have to pace out that conversation into this. So I've been trying to write something for Din to say here that I can rescore a few lines. that can lead into this scene better? And I don't have the answer yet. I'm trying to find that tonight because this is one of my last tasks. I've rebuilt the hollow transmission noises. Anyone recognize this sound? Anyone know what game that's from? It works perfectly because it's Imperial Remnant sound effect. Yeah, it's a bad idea just to tip him off for no reason. That's why I'm having a writing challenge here. What could Din say here that's not gonna completely tip him off? Because they capture Pershing, then they plan with Pershing, and then they're in hyperspace, and they arrive at Gideon's cruiser. So what should Din say right here? This noise is from Jedi Outcast, Imperial Remnant. Yeah, Dark Forces, good guess. There is a special Dark Forces appearance later in my edit. So I'm going to pause on this one. I need to really brainstorm what I can do here. I'm going to have to write at some point tonight, but let's move on for now. So I do need to review... Heck. Oh, I was working over here. This is the other thing. I'm taking... I don't know if you guys were a fan of it or not. I wasn't, so I'm taking it out. I did not like the dubstep music for the Dark Troopers. So I'm gutting their audio and replacing it with their theme from Dark Forces. This guy made an orchestral remake of it, and it's a callback to EU and how most of us experienced Dark Troopers for the first time in our lives. We didn't experience them with dubstep in the background. Let's make a deal. IDK makes it stupider. Yeah, what? I don't know. I really need to think about this. Okay. So I haven't done much of the audio work yet, but that's the general idea, is to replace all of the Dark Trooper theme with their Dark Forces theme. He could offer up Bo-Katan to mirror the scene before where he offers Gideon to her. I like the idea. Then it's more like you're tricking Gideon. But the problem is, what's he going to say? Like, hey, I'm coming to you to bring Bo-Katan, like, in exchange for the child or something. I don't think Gideon would believe it, first of all. And then second of all, like, their attack on here doesn't play out in that manner. They come out of hyperspace all hiding on here. They have a different ruse going on. That just gave me an idea. If Din tells Gideon, like, hey, none of your forces in this sector are safe or something. We're hunting down all of your men, da 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 da. Then Gideon is maybe like anticipating one of his own ships under attack. That's why I paused here, because I need to watch this whole segment again to remember all the exact dialogue and figure out what he could do. Cool. Glad you guys like the soundtrack. Yep. Yeah, the other one, the dubstep was... I mean, they didn't even go subtle with it. So understand... Oh, retracted. He takes it back. But yeah, I don't know why they made Gideon look like that. There's like no indication that Gideon looks up to Vader or anything. I don't know why he isn't in the standard Imperial garb. They haven't really released much in canon about his career before The Mandalorian, have they? I mean, Gideon, other than he was part of the Night of a Thousand Tears, I guess in a way, I mean, his whole shtick has been to rip off the Mandalorians, essentially, to make the Empire the superior version of the Mandalorians. I'm trying to see what he did before. At some point after the Clone Wars, joined the Empire. Huh. Is this from the some of the? I haven't read the later Disney Thrawn books. What? You don't get all of that information from The Mandalorian? Chapter 8? No way. What else was he in? Yeah, they didn't make any actual novels with him in it. This book is an absolute disgrace. It came out a couple years ago. It was Disney's attempt to map all their shows and books onto a timeline. It's so bad. Like, look at the continuity errors. It's a worthless book. And this is just what Wikipedia puts in there. If you read some of the forum posts, they have lists like this that are 5 times as long. This book is just pointless. Unfortunately. Huh, okay. Moff Gideon. Someone distracted me with Moff Gideon. How dare you? He was an ISB, okay. Yeah, mystery box, yeah. Yep. They can't commit to anything because they don't know what they want to do with him. They don't know if they're going to bring him back like a 4th time. Okay, so goals tonight. I need to TIE Fighter sound, write Din's voice lines and record them, review everything after they capture Pershing through basically the end of the film, 30 minutes here, finish the deepfake. So this is Jarcancio. I want to give this guy as much credit as possible. I'll pull up his channel right now. Just unreal respect for this guy. He made a better deepfake for Luke than Shamook did. And I say that with high praise for Shamook. But it's not even close. I'll show you an example. The Shamook version is under. The Disney version is worse than both of them, of course. But this is the Shamook deepfake.
I am.
Let me make it full.
I am.
Okay, that's the Shamook one. Now imagine how bad the Disney one is.
I am.
Like his lips don't move at all. And that's Shamook. That's not the Disney ones. I'm not kidding when I say his lips do not move, period. He just goes, so this guy improved a lot on... He added, like, proper shadow and stuff to Luke's face.
You a Jedi? I am.
I mean, it still looks a little deep fakey. That's not one of the best ones. This is cool because I have to do audio work here. In the original one, they don't even try to make Luke talk on screen. So they cut away.
Come, little one.
Come, little one. When Jarcancio edits it, he actually... Come, little one. And that looks really good to me. So I have to rework the soundtrack to match that now. I think it's cool to see that on screen. Why not?
Come, little one.
So I'll fix that.
He wants your permission.
And that compared to...
He wants your permission.
His lips just don't move much here. I think I need to tweak his... He looks a little, like, colorful. I'll try and color grade him a little bit to match his neck better. Like, his face is really tan, but his neck is not. Oh, yeah, that's overly saturated. I was trying to match it earlier and didn't finish. I mean, even that helps. It's just overly saturated on him. But it helps. It helps, like, look how different that he made the shadows on him. Which one looks more like ROTJ Luke? This one, no doubt.
Permission.
So I need to do work and finish mapping up all the face maps. And to accomplish this, well, I need to put Jarkan up here. This guy's awesome. He's an absolute beast at deepfakes. I mean, he was deepfaking Battlefront. He did this he did this, I think even before Shamook. He just doesn't have as big of a following. But he didn't, like, release his... Shamook was in our editing forums and stuff, like, providing people his files. This guy, he only put up this one video, and it's only split the whole time. And it's not edited through the whole scene. It's just, like, random snippets, so it cuts around. Thankfully, he put it in very high resolution, 4K, so even when I close up... I mean, that's his map is higher quality than Disney's quality release. So he made his face map very, very high quality deepfake. Huge respect to this guy. He hasn't done stuff in a while, which is... I hope he got hired by someone good. He's Hispanic. I'm sure he got picked up if his channel stopped like this. I think that's what happened to that Unreal Cinema guy who made the... I saw somebody say he got hired and that you can't, like, do your independent stuff anymore once you have a job. So I hope that's what happened to both of these guys because they're very talented. So anyways, in order to get his face map on here, it's just a simple tracked mask, a bunch of frames, just move it around with him. So I'm just tracing it, masking it on top of the Shamook one. So I got to finish up all the different cuts of Luke in here. And review. And then book 4 is ready, my people. I think I'm gonna be able to release that tonight. I got people waiting for it, asking for the updates, so the hardest challenge is going to be writing this, I think. I already reviewed this earlier. Happy with everything. I love this scene so much. Awesome scene. Did Filoni made this last episode, didn't he? Yeah. It's a good one. It's a very, very, very good episode. Okay, probably behind on chats. Oh, no! Thank you. Thank you for sparing me. Let's go. Let's get to work. Just by a couple frames. Probably easiest to time up a footstep. Oh, yeah, man, Goob, it takes me back. Hearing that? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. As soon as I sat there this morning and I was like, what do I replace the dubstep with? You know, I'm brainstorming some of the simple stuff, you know, Imperial March, Gideon's theme, what do I do? And then it just hit me. I was like, shoot, I bet the Dark Troopers had a iconic soundtrack for Dark Forces, didn't they? But you know, I was like, it's gonna be that really old, you know, 90s soundtrack that was just the electronic noises, boop 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 boop. but thankfully, a lot of people have done modern updates of that soundtrack. So big credit. Let me pop up the channel who made this. This guy. I'm gonna credit all these guys in my changelog for sure. David Trigoning, 1995. I mean, he made this by, yeah, the MIDI, yeah, that's what they're called, the MIDI soundtracks. This dude is just incredible. I gotta thank him. Awesome stuff. Did he do any other Star Wars stuff? Oh wow. Dang. Dang, that sounds really clean. I like that a lot. I need to subscribe to this guy. Jones. Whoa. Oh, so he does the reverse. He takes old MIDI stuff and turns it into orchestral, or he takes... Yeah, or he takes the new stuff and turns it into MIDI. Huh. That's cool. Princess Leia theme. Fan game? What is that? Sounds great. Sounds like Naboo, no doubt. What is that? This. Whoa. Dang. That's kind of cool. They tried to make like a modern Star Wars Galaxies. Oh, it's a mod for Fallout New Vegas? What? Oh, it looks like it was abandoned, unfortunately. Dang, that's not, yeah, looks like it's dead. That's a really cool idea, though. Dang, that's sad. So many amazing Star Wars mod projects have gotten started and not finished. The one I am really excited about is... What's that called? I am definitely gonna play this at some point. Yeah, this guy. Dady Vengi. He's turned the Starfield game into like a giant Star Wars open world game where you're like a Mandalorian. There's like stormtrooper armor. I mean, depending what faction you want to work with. I haven't even played the original Starfield game. But you can like pick your faction. He's got everything. Ships, weapons, armor. It's so crazy. I mean, he's like retextured all the worlds. Like everything is replaced. There's Imperial stuff everywhere. It looks really good. Fully complete Yuzhen Vong main story. Like he revoiced everybody, replaced all the characters. I mean, he's very detail oriented. Like there's your home base. Yeah, once once he releases a few more updates, and I'm waiting for Starfield's next DLC, and then he'll like finish it. I will definitely be buying this and picking up this mod. How long is Imperial Boot Camp, and how long have ROTS? Oh, how long after Revenge of the Sith was Imperial ROTC instituted? Would Luke have been discovered by Vader if he went to the Academy? That's a cool what if question. I don't know the answers off the top of my head. I mean, I imagine pretty fast after Revenge of the Sith, they just quickly transitioned. I mean, it took them a few years, definitely, to start phasing out the clones. But, you know, most of the admirals and officers who weren't clones transitioned to the Empire. Academy start. I look that up. That's a good question. Doesn't look like there's a easily accessible answer. I'm sure it's in some book somewhere. I guess it would also depend what kind of Imperial Academy you're specifically talking about. 19 BBY. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Formed it. Yeah, I mean it was pretty immediate for, you know. Yeah, by 19, a year after Revenge of the Sith, they already had a headmaster, Grand Moffs. That's funny. Would Vader? Yeah, think of that question. Would Luke have been discovered by Vader if he went to this academy? That's a good question. Probably not. Like, you wouldn't have just sensed him out of nowhere. But he kept a Skywalker name, which has always been odd. I think they try to say that there was a lot of Skywalkers in the galaxy. I'd have to think about that more. I mean, initially I would say no, Vader wouldn't notice. Now, if Luke started growing in power, and I assume he would have become an amazing TIE pilot and been rising up the ranks very quickly. And then at some point down the line, yeah, maybe, 10 years down the road. I mean, it depends. Luke was going to go to the academy in, basically 0 ABY, a little before then. But he always would have preferred the New Republic, but he just wanted to get off Tatooine, basically. Not the New Republic, the Rebels. Yeah, that's a fun question to explore. Let me know in the office tomorrow. Is this Dakota? That's funny. What kind of profile name is that? You got me on a rant. Peace, my guy. Anyways. Back to work. This sounds good. Dark troopers are out. they're out. I'm gonna see this. Why did he hold his hand up there for so long without doing anything? I think we should cut. I mean, that thing's already right up on him. Look how close it is to his legs. You can get away with cutting this so Din's hand isn't up there for like 3 seconds without doing anything. Like this whole time he's just not pulling it. His hand is on it. I agree, Shoya. I watched the Ewok movies as a kid too, and they weren't great, but I didn't think they were terrible as a kid. They've got some like weird force lore and creature lore. Endor's a very strange planet in Star Wars EU, and it brings back that show opened a lot of storytelling doors, actually. As odd as it sounds. George loved his Ewoks for some reason. If I could have one major change for Return of the Jedi, Endor should have been Kashyyyk. The Wookiees would have made that whole Act 3 a lot more believable. I would have turned all of Naboo. I wouldn't even have had Naboo exist for the prequels. I would have had all of Naboo be Alderaan. I think Anakin should have been older in The Phantom Menace. I think he should have been 15, 16 instead of 9, 10. Attack of the Clones, I would have liked to see more of the Clone Wars rather than it just starting at the very, very, very end in one battle. I think we should have seen more of it happening. Those are just some big picture storytelling stuff I would have changed. So they already proved that Wookiees weren't primitive since Chewie can fly a starship. Yeah, that's a very good point. And the second Ewok movie had a Night Sister who could shapeshift. Cool. I don't remember that, but I like that a lot. Very, very good point about the Wookiees, because George was so adamant about this theme of primitive versus mechanized. You know, was it that battle where he said it was supposed to parallel Vietnam? Like the Ewoks were supposed to be the Viet Cong, something like that. Alright, let's help Din along here. So I either remove that walking one, or do I remove them both? Oh, I can't. I can leave the foot one. But he needs to be like grabbing him faster is the only thing. Yeah, that works so much better. Cutting that other scene where the Dark Trooper's walking, and then cutting a few frames out of that. Yeah, that works so well. Ewok is Wookiee backwards and some letters removed. Yeah, I mean, I definitely respect why George did that for the thematic aspect. Still looking back, you could have told that primitive, if you gave maybe the Wookiees some more cultural development. I mean, the Ewoks, I know their size and all is part of it, where the Wookiees are just naturally massive. Can kill a human with their bare hands. But I think you still could have communicated the primitive aspect of the themes that George wanted with the Wookiees. I get that one, Chewbacca was a main character and he was modernized, but you could have made him seem like the exception, like he left his primitive culture to join the developed one for his lifetime. That's a little better. I think I want to remove a few frames on this side too. Just to make it seem like the Dark Trooper's actually trying to blast him, not just watch him. That's good. He raises his arm way too slow here. This action takes way too long. Right there, we need to be... That's too slow. Arm it. And you should be like pushing it forward right in the next frame. Give me one more frame back, I think. Yeah, that looks snappy, but it doesn't look like it teleports in any way. Yeah, now it looks like he's just very urgently firing them, which I like because of, like, they're kind of inaccurate from this distance. That this is not what these whistling birds are used for. I would have voted Wookiee until I recut RTJ. Oh, cool. I'm super interested in that edit, Joy. If I don't, have you put any videos out for that one yet? I'm looking at your channel right now. I don't, at least not on YouTube. I don't think I've seen any ROTJ ones yet. That's probably the least edited Star Wars movie. Maybe Empire Strikes Back, but it's like you got the Adawan edits. So, like, who watches anything other than his ESB one? But ROTJ, there's not like a definitive go-to edit of that film that I've seen. There's a couple that I think make some improvements, but I don't think anyone has really mastered re-editing that scene with new eyes yet. I mean, Adawan is finishing his eventually. That will probably be gold standard because of he takes like 5 years per edit. He hones his craft. He like builds the miniatures and refilms stuff. It's nuts. Not yet, they're coming. Okay. Empire edit is 90 minutes. Wow. What, explain your thought process there. Are you not, like, trying to create a theatrical experience? Is it just, like, make the story beats work as best as possible without really considering the length of the entire film? I couldn't see a Star Wars movie ever being 90 minutes in theater. That might feel more like a TV segment. Now, it might have a punchier story that way for sure, and lose, you ditch some of the narrative hiccups, but interesting. Shoya, I've never been a fan of blasters bouncing off Beskar in the Mando show. It's never looked like that before. They just did it for Phasma, and she's chrome, and blasters bounce off her, so they just copied. Interesting. Yeah, it's like sometimes they bounce and sometimes they just absorb, which is... the inconsistency is odd. I guess I wouldn't say I hate the idea of it for maybe like the highest quality refined armor, which Din's is. It would look really weird on some armors, I think. Yeah, for some reason the chrome... I don't know why it... Yeah. Was Phasma's armor all Beskar? They never said it in the movies. They probably said it in a book if it was. Okay, fixes snappy arm movement. It's fine. 1, 2. Get shot. That shot looks bad. There's like no impact or anything. I probably want to cut all of that. It also, I was counting the whistling birds coming out too, because he shoots 2. I guess you could say those are the 2. They seem to be traveling a little slow. Just looking at the projectile animation. I'm gonna start here. It's supposed to be good at absorbing thermals, which is why I can block lightsabers, but deflecting it isn't supposed to. Phasma's made of chromium. Okay, that's dumb then. But absorbing thermals. Okay, so you think it should all absorb rather than bounce? It would have been awesome if they would have, instead of the bouncing, like absorb and then stay a little heated for a second. Like it's dispersing the heat across the surface and then like slowly fade. Like, almost like a deflector shield in a way, but made of metal. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. That looks so much better. The only thing is, why isn't he shooting here? Okay, like that whistling bird. It disappears for so long. And then that's the one that comes down from up there and hits him in the upper right shoulder blade, if you would say that they could have that. Okay, all 6 films are 90 minutes, except for Revenge of the Sith 75, which is technically a feature length. Okay. Alright. You can cut straight to the final impact of the whistling birds. That's what I think. After the shot of Din is firing, cut straight to the final reverse. Oh. Yeah, they all whiff. I mean, part of that, these weapons are, it's not supposed to be like a shotgun blast. Like, they are supposed to spread out across the room, find their targets. So I don't hate the concept that they're inaccurate at this range. I just don't like how they disappear. I definitely want to cut a lot of this, though. This is definitely what needs cut for sure, one way or another. Like that is what you're saying, Joy. You cut maybe to there. I'd like to see at least one frame of it. Oh no, it's that needs to like hit now. I forgot that one disappears over his back. But then that's gonna, yeah, okay, I see why you did that. Yeah, I'm running into the same thing. They all, yeah. What is the goal? What, my super chat goal? It's just a joke about myself, or are you saying the goal of this edit? My super chat goal is just a joke because I distract myself more than anything in here, and that's just a joke. But the goal of the edit is to improve some of the elements. Yeah. I see exactly what Joy is talking about now. Okay, let's see how it looks. Yeah, I mean, I guess that works. Uh-oh. Oh, this one you're saying. You don't even start with the ones who hit him from behind. I think that's what you meant when you said to the final reverse. Okay. Yeah. Because then it's just like he's hitting him right in this chest. Well, then it's like, where did that one come from? That one shouldn't be there if in this concept, though. What did you do with that one? Does it hit him? And what's next? Because we have to see him getting up. It does. Oh. Ooh. See, look at this. Okay, he gets up onto his right leg twice. So he's like planting it. And then he's planting it again, so there is kind of like an odd reversal. You can't get away with that, though. It's just this one. Where's that? Wow, they cut something. Look at that. Did I miss that earlier? What am I missing? When did Din use his vibro blade? I see it on the ground and I don't see it used in combat. I'm wondering how it got there. Unless it was something I already cut in a different one. I gotta check. Now I'm curious. Why is there a vibro blade on the ground? And I will send you these edits later. I saw your DM, Joy. I'll send them over. Does he use a vibro blade here? Wait. That's his blaster on the ground. That's odd. It must be from some cut content. Okay. Unless I'm like really missing something. Whoa. What? Where did he pull that spear out of? Joy, help! What did you do? Where did he pull that out of? It's huge. He wasn't like tucking it in a pocket unless he's got Dora's backpack on. Oh, okay. It's on the ground over there. Where did it... Man, this battle's... It's like, there's some really good elements of it, and then there's some parts that are just like very confusing. When he initially got punched, is that where the spear went flying? Okay, because he's got it tucked in all the way. So he's got it like strapped onto his back. Okay, yeah, okay, it was that initial punch. Boom, it goes flying off to the right side of the bay. Okay, okay. So that's all good, it's over there. So then he throws him way over near it. Do the whistling birds. Okay, what's wigging me out is inventory. Yeah. We just don't see him pick it up. It just materializes in his hands. Because it's laying directly behind him right now. And then he just spins. He doesn't grab the ground. That's what I'm saying. Where does it come from? It's just, he just spawns it in his hands. I'm gonna fix this. I'm getting some ideas in my mind. That just looks so weird when he does that. Okay, LP Vroom, what's up? Are you trying to cut the show down into a single feature-length movie? Improve some of the sloppiness generally? Hey, Punklahoma, heck yeah, congrats, man. I love that. And I didn't even subscribe like I said I would. I was feeling so guilty about that all day. I'm going to do it right now on stream. Heck yeah. I'm excited to watch these later. This is, if you know him as Patali on the Star Wars Fan Edits forum, or Palindrome. He's got another YouTube account. This is his new channel. He's an actor, and he does this punk video game reviews. Oh, this is cool. You're doing really well already. Nice. How long did you start? Only a month? Nice. Congrats, man. This looks so cool. I love even just like the simple wall in the background. Like, yeah, that you definitely got the vibe going on. That's awesome. I'll definitely watch these later. And you're reviewing like old games too. That's cool. That's a really unique idea. I love when channels develop with new ideas like that. A bit too fast, but there's a couple brutal moves. Okay. For LP Broom's question, I am editing The Mandalorian Season 1, 2, Book of Boba Fett, and 3 into a 6-film saga. So definitely not like cutting everything into one feature-length film. I'm making 6 2-hour films. And yes, it is this type of meticulous editing through every frame just to improve the overall storyline. Watch a couple of the videos on my YouTube channel if you want to get a feel for some of the stuff I'm changing. I would recommend watching like this one to start, should Din have left Grogu behind, to show how I am changing the storyline and overall plot structure. That would be a good one. And then if you want to see like some individual scene edits, I'm starting to make content of what I actually did change. So I have the first 3 films completed. I'm hoping to finish this one tonight. I'm getting close. You'll see how to fix the spear. I would love that. I had an idea, and I want to see how if it matches what you're about to send. Are you gonna send it through the original trilogy, the chat we had going? If you have it like on Google Drive or something. My idea now is. Might be what you were saying. It plays out a little fast. I think you have him, so we can see the spear. I mean, it's like just within arm's reach. I think almost you cut from like here just to almost like that. Like we're seeing him, like he's picking it up off the ground and stabbing it straight into him. Boom. I might need like one quick shot of it approaching faster like this. But then it's almost like he's grabbing... I might zoom in a little bit so you can't see his hand come up. Definitely getting rid of this spin. This makes no sense. I mean... This is so odd. How did they... I'm trying to think how they filmed this then. Did they combine... I'm looking for any discrepancies between their frames just to see how they would have done it. They definitely had to do some editing magic. Because the spear's not even in his hands yet. Look. You can see it. It materializes right in this frame. And now it's in his hands. Huh. I'm looking at his fingers right now. Just seeing how they did this on set. That's so odd. I can't figure out why they would have done that. I think they must have combined 2 takes at some point here. I'm getting lost in the weeds right now. Just watching this. Cool. Awesome, Punklahoma. Yeah, for sure, LP Vroom. Thank you so much for joining. And I have my email address in a lot of the videos. You can send a request to be able to watch the films. It's just required you either own the DVDs themselves or Blu-rays or whatever, or you have an active Disney Plus subscription that just takes care of the legal requirements for being able to share. So just so you're aware, they love their spins. It's a good trick. Yeah, it reminded me of the Book of Boba Fett spin, where he just spins the blaster around for no reason. Trickaroo is to cut on one of the whistling bird's sparks in the close, where you do see Din, to the final thrust while matching the sparks. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely get on board with that. Okay, let's get to it. Let's find the one you're talking about. It's probably like this one. Or maybe even that one would be too fast. It's probably gotta be the second one. See the link. Not see Din. Okay, where you do not see Din. If you're posting a link in the YouTube chat, it's probably getting auto-blocked by YouTube. They usually don't let you post URLs. Unfortunately. You'd probably have to the close shot. Yeah, if you could DM me the link in original trilogy form. It's not coming in the chat if you're posting it there. Thank you. This one, the close one of Din. I might change this after I see your video, but my idea would be to cut from here. We've still got some of the sparks, and I need to almost... How much can I punch in on this? Because I don't want to see that other whistling bird coming in from the back. Man, this project file is getting so slow. Are you gonna move? Goodness. That's ridiculous. PM sent, thank you so much. Punch, fire. Oh yeah, you sped a lot of that up. Nice, okay. Yeah, you cut out a lot there. Let me see this. Okay, right from that to that, okay. Yeah, we definitely have the same idea on this part. I've kept a lot more of this fight just in general. And I've tried not to make him get impacted from the back so far. I kind of want to see if I can stay consistent with that. But I definitely see what you mean with the spear, which I want to try to accomplish. Okay. So I want to hit and then like take these sparks. This is ridiculous. I'm about to import everything into a new project file. This one just chugs. You can see I had to rename it. Oh, you can't see that. Oh yeah, at the top. Final release not broken. My last project file of this got corrupted for some reason. I had to go back to an autosave, remake a couple things, and I made another copy of stuff. I don't know why. It's having trouble with something. One of these files is like really chugging it up. Okay, that looks good. I got the whistling bird out of the frame. And then I wanted to cut. Should keep more of it, yeah. That spark cut or another spark cut. Yeah, definitely. So that's what I'm aiming for here. I punched in enough so we don't see the whistling bird from the background. Then let's kind of do what you had earlier. I want to see if it's worth it to keep these frames right here. See if I can kind of simulate like this is Din picking the spear up almost. That's an idea. Definitely want to cut from there all the way through where you had it. I might try just like the frame because we've still got some sparks. I might try the frame where the spear it actually is in his hands before it's invisible. Okay, so that would play out like. Oh, that's not gonna work because I need another one. Ah, shoot. Yeah. Okay. Now I've seen why you did some of that stuff. This is a tricky one. It's too fast. Shoot. Let me pull up your video again. I mean, because you skip through pretty much all of that. You go right from the initial firing, which I have all the way back here. So I just like skipped a lot of those. Let me try this again. Trying to end on a frame where his hand is pretty much over the spear, and we could say maybe he reaches back and grabs it. Where are you going to insinuate that that happened, though? There's like another close-up of this, right? Hard to match up Din's placement. I need a little more. I can get away with having the invisible spear a little bit. Oh yeah, I was definitely like, wait, why is that so good? Maybe like that. That is close to working visually, I think. So I'm trying to insinuate, okay, his hand is close to the spear. Come on. Oh, I've got a repeated frame there. That's why. It's like nothing's changing. I don't know what. Ooh, okay. I think we're pretty close with that. Close a little. The spear, they added so many sound effects. Like the thing is loud when it moves through the air. Oops. That was a glitch. Oh. Dang. The inconsistency of the whistling bird placement is what's getting me right now. Because I'm like, where did that one come from? Nothing. There's been nothing shown where that should come from behind. Okay. But then I lose Din's placement of getting up as much. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I'd have to cut to here. Oh, why is that? Which one did I want? Is that not that one? Okay. Now the whistling birds work. if I can just match up Din's movements a little bit better, I think we have the answer. Okay, that was wigging me out too, because he does the same exact movement twice. Wrist, cha-chunk, wrist, cha-chunk. That's like the same thing, just from two different camera angles. Like he's making a fist there, and it's aiming down. Oh, new driver available. And there his hand is open again. I mean, it should start there. Yeah. They just don't care whatsoever. Shot from where? Who cares? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. They filmed so many different takes of the action scenes, and then they just, like, randomly assemble the parts based on what individual takes they liked best for whatever reason, and they don't pay much attention to the overall continuity of the scenes, especially the flow of combat. They're very bad at flow. Things take so long. Okay, see how much better that looks? Now you're not getting a double wrist flop. So much better. I mean, it's just like probably under half a second of what we cut. But look how much snappier Din's combat response looks. And I even think he's moving too slow here. I kind of want to speed this up. Oops. Okay, I know. Yeah. I got the graphic. Let's try like 130%. Yeah, even that's better. It just makes him look like he's moving so much faster. What should I do with the audio? I might just smash it and see what happens. There we go. That looks better. Okay, and we're very close on this, I think. Got spark impact. The only reason I didn't go further here was because of the whistling bird coming in the background. How much more room do I have to go left? I've got quite a bit of room. Nope, there's my edge. I'd have to zoom in more. Is that one frame? It's literally one single frame. Just watch this. We're just going to remove him real quick. Very, very simply remove him. What kind of shape is it? I mean, I'll just draw. Is that going to get in the way of that line? No one's going to see that line. There you go. Okay, whistling bird gone. SWA in Season 2, Episode 4, when Din is on the ship with the three others, why doesn't he just run into the troopers instead of using the detonators he has? Beskar. Oh, I hated that, how I had to do so much editing on that. You're talking about the one with, like, on the Imperial cruiser where he's excuse me, sprinting down the hallway, and he's getting just pelted by 30 shots and doesn't hit him in the flesh anywhere. I hated that. I heavily truncated that scene in mine. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. Okay, is this final review here? The last thing I was going to check was that transition. That transition's a little bit off right now. Might just be able to move one frame here. It's just his motions aren't lining up too well. What is that about? Oh yeah, that was to get rid of the super loud spear wind. That looks better already. And then I was saying I wanted to zoom in here. Oh, I already did. Okay, no whistling birds from behind. Fixed. All of the pacing is a lot better. Oops. Okay, that was my last glitch. I just need to take this, put it here, right? Yep. It's almost there. This part is still a little odd to me. It's just his movement, because we see him moving back, and then he's instantly moving forward. Thinking. He's on his knees, he's getting up. That's not too bad. Like watching that, that's not too bad. Maybe if I move it to here instead. I can't tell if like less of that turn is better or more of the turn. I like it better how I had it before. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works well enough. It's certainly an improvement on the original. Yeah, that cut worked so well. Watching this like 50 times in a row. Ah! That's tough. I might go right in between my two other efforts. Let's try this one. I think I can be happy with this. This is what I was talking about the other day. I hate when if you're gonna do a stab that would create blood, and with Star Wars, you're not gonna have him gushing, his intestines falling out. But you need to do a better job of obscuring the damaged area. So to get shanked like this, like he turns and there's nothing. Like, this is Beskar. That could pierce right through the Stormtrooper armor. But then you just get nothing. And that's what looks bad. I'm not saying there should be gore in Star Wars, but you can't do this. You can't show the area like that, and then there's just no damage. What I can try to do is from here through here. Oh no, that's gotta be so fast. Shoot. I'm not even going towards the end. It's gotta be till like here. Yikes. I'd have to zoom so fast. So at least this is what I'm talking about. Like, then that looks a little weird with the zoom, but I can lessen the zoom and then go up. It almost feels like it has to keep zooming. Just so it looks like there's actual camera movement taking place. Peak detail, yeah. Is that moving at all? Oh, shoot. Okay. I hate when I do that. There we go. That. See how I obscured it? I might not have. Because yeah. Where does he get stabbed? I mean, it's like right there. I need to go up a little more, I think. Oops, that's the wrong way. That would be why. There we go. So now when he turns, the stab wound is below the camera. The zoom is a little fast for me. I'm trying to do like the absolute minimum with still covering up the wound area. Alright, that's better. I don't like that tree.
Where's Gideon?
Yep, see you, man. Good night. Peace. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's getting late. This film is taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. A lot of little fixes and a lot of distractions. Yeah, I was moderately distracted. Dang it. I'm probably going to call it a night here, too. How long have I been going? Almost 3 hours. I have so many people in my DMs asking for book 4. I feel guilty. But I need to get this right. I mean, I'm not going to finish it tonight, no matter what. I need to write this scene tomorrow. The Din scene. And then this deepfake is going to probably take me another hour to map up. Probably take me another hour to review the next 20 minutes. if not longer, if I had to make more changes. We're close. This is 3 to 5 hours away from completion. May or may not stream tomorrow. I might be able to get it done on my own time before then. I got a nice flexible job. Friendly hours. 4 hours. Yeah, the other night on that Morak scene, that was crazy. Jessica, good night. Yeah. I've got my changelog here I need to fill out. Some stuff I just write quite simple. Get to that later. I'll fill that out tomorrow for the post. Stream title, I said finishing final scenes of book 4. Imagine if I could have done it. That's a wrap. Good night, my friends. Thank you for the help and the advice as always. Good editing. Good work. Good night.